This is my wife's old nightstand. It's flimsy, it wobbles, it's falling apart, the shelves don't stay in place. So I built her this sturdy, mid-century, hard maple nightstand. But let's take it back to the beginning. Originally, this was the design. It's gonna be something a little more simple, but I like the mid-century style, so I decided to make that instead. I didn't realize how much extra work it would be for the laminations. It added roughly about 2 days. All the extra milling, like running it through the jointer, the planer, the table saw. But at the end, I think you'll see, it's worth it. It looks really great. It's got a lot of contrast and, well, it looks awesome. In order to get the laminations just right, I had to make sure that I put glue everywhere, but not so much glue that everything got stuck together. Like I said, it added a lot of days, so there was a lot of time for it to cure. Anyway, with that being said, at some point, all my laminations were done, and I had to take them apart and then re-mill them, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but definitely gets frustrating after a while. If you're not familiar with what laminations are, basically you're adding thickness to the wood by gluing two pieces of wood together. That way they become one thicker piece. So for the legs, I decided, since I wasn't really sure what style my wife wanted for her bedroom, since we kind of have mixed styles in our home, I'm just gonna make both, and then she can pick which one she likes. So that meant double the work, but the better outcome, I think, because you get to see it in real life. And I'm not gonna say she's picky, but she's picky. Anywho, so for joinery, I decided to use my little Kreg doweling jig. If you don't have a doweling jig, you could use something like pocket holes or a floating tenon or even a box joint type deal. Box legs, in my opinion, look very simple, but simple isn't always bad. The top was going to be simple, so I didn't want simple legs with a simple top. I wanted something with a little more contrast. The best way that I know how to make things mid-century is to use a sled to get the right angles, and basically it's a reusable sled, so you could just keep using it over and over as long as you don't move your fence. A little trick I picked up is when using the sled, first you make your first cut with the sled exactly the way it is, with your piece touching all the wood components. Then you come back with a little spacer and make one more final cut. The best way to get repeated height for your legs is to use a crosscut sled. Now, if you don't have one, I actually made a video on how to make this exact one you're watching in this video. So feel free to go check that video out after this video, of course. And while you're at it, if you want to give me a like and subscribe to the channel, if you like this kind of content, I really appreciate it, and it goes a long way. So thank you. Anyway, I kept refining the angle, just moving it a little bit at a time to make sure my wife approved the design. Of course, happy wife, happy life. So anyway, I ended up with this kind of design. Tell me what you think. Do you like it? And just when I thought the glue ups was over, I had more to glue up. The legs, the panels to make them into boxes. Put them into clamps, take them out of clamps. Then I gave them a nice clean edge on the table saw using a crosscut sled. Then I just kind of test fit everything to make sure it at least was square. Then I pre-sanded everything just to 80 grit to kind of flatten everything, make sure it was nice and square. And I made another sled for my legs to make sure that the heights were parallel and the angles were parallel. Then using my fence on my table saw, I decided to give the legs the final height. That way the height matches. I then began to assemble my box piece. People talk a lot of smack about end grain, but I like it, especially when it's laminated or you have contrasting wood species. So in order for me to cut a chamfer all around my box, because it had end grain, I had to do a climb cut. A climb cut can be dangerous, but it looks really nice on end grain. However, it doesn't prevent issues like putting the bearing of the router into your doweling holes and taking some snipe. Then I began to assemble my box, just putting a little glue into the dowel holes and on the dowels, and then whacking it with the mallet until everything sat flush. Now, after that, I put it into clamps and just kind of let it sit. Then I moved it over and let it sit for the rest of the day. Then I figured out how much inset I wanted for my legs. Of course, I don't want to run my toes into my legs or anything like that. Plus, if you have the old school heaters that stick out of the wall. So I set that up and I marked it onto my piece. I'm going to sand it off later, but for now, it's going to be important. Then to join my stretcher to my legs, you guessed it, I used another dowel, but just one on each side this time. It's really just preventing racking and when you move it across the floor. That's going to be plenty enough. To make sure it stays square, I did use 90-degree clamps, but just on one side because the clamp is going to bring it all together. To join my leg assembly to my box assembly, I decided to use furniture nuts. These are more classy in my opinion. There's a certain feel to them using an Allen wrench versus a screwdriver, but more importantly, they're super easy to do. You just pilot hole enough for the head using a Forstner bit, then you pilot hole enough for the shank using another Forstner bit or a drill. They're so easy to assemble that I usually have my daughter help me out. She likes pitching in and, well, it has to be to her standards. So once I was done assembling everything, I disassembled everything. You know, that happens a lot in woodworking. You put some together, you take it apart, put it back together, take it apart. Then I gave everything on the leg assembly a nice chamfer. Then it was time for some sanding. I went up to 180 on my random orbiter and I went to 220 hand sanding. Just light touches to make sure that the finish went on smooth. For finish, I used General Finish's High Performance Flat. I like it with maple that has spalting. It gives it a certain pop. Anyway, here's the finished nightstand. You could also use it as an end table if you really wanted to. But what would you do differently, if anything at all? I think it came out pretty good. See you on the next one.